Do you ever feel like you're stuck in a loop? Same thoughts, same reactions, same outcomes. Like no matter how much you want to change, some part of you keeps pulling you back. What if I told you that your current personality, your patterns, your thoughts, your habits isn't just who you are, it's the very thing that's creating your reality. And unless you change it, your life can't change. Stick around because in this video, I'm going to walk you through a simple 3-step model to break out of that loop and actually start to become a version of yourself that you keep imagining. And at the end, I'll give you a dead simple question that I use with my coaching clients when they feel stuck. It's one of the fastest ways to interrupt those thought loops and create real transformation. So let's start with the key idea. Your personality is your personal reality. You might have heard this phrase before, it might sound poetic, but actually it's incredibly practical. And here's what it means. Your personality is made up of 3 things: how you think, how you feel, and how you behave. The combination becomes your predictable identity. And the more you think the same thoughts, feel the same emotions, and take the same actions, the more you reinforce that same reality. Not metaphorically, but literally. You wake up, you check your phone, you feel overwhelmed, you think, I'm behind, rush through the day, feel low energy, and repeat. That routine doesn't just shape your day, it shapes your identity, and that identity shapes your environment, your outcomes, your relationships, your life. So if you want to break free, you have to disrupt that loop. So let me walk you through a 3-step process I call think, feel, and act to break out of that loop. It's a simple but powerful framework to understand how we get stuck, and more importantly, how we break out. So step 1, recognize the loop. Most people try to change their lives by changing actions. Work harder, wake up earlier, do more. But if these actions are built on the same thoughts and feelings that got you stuck in the first place, you're just dressing up the same cycle. For example, you might think, I'm just not good enough. You feel insecure. And so as a result, you'll act small, overthink, and avoid risk. And this will lead to results that reinforce that same belief. So the key is you've got to become aware of the most common loops. What thought, feeling, action patterns are shaping your life right now? Start asking, what emotion do I live in most of the day? What story do I keep telling myself about who I am? Write them down. Don't judge, just observe. All right, step 2, breaking the identity script. Here's where it gets exciting. When you start to realize that your personality is not fixed, it's a habit, you can begin to write a new script. Let me say that again. Your personality is a habit, and like any habit, it can change. Here's the twist though. You don't become a new person by waiting until you feel different. You become a new person by acting differently first, even if it feels unfamiliar. So instead of asking, what should I do today? Ask, what will the future version of me do today? How would they think? What will they say yes to? What will they stop tolerating? When you act in alignment to your future identity, before you fully feel like it, you start to rewire that loop. You send a message to the brain saying, this is who we are now, catch up. Step 3, anchor the new self. It's not enough to break the loop once. You need to reinforce that new loop until it becomes your baseline. This is where small wins matter. Every time you show up as a version of yourself that's more grounded, more bold, more honest, you're laying down new wiring for your brain. That's neuroplasticity, and that's identity change in motion. And here's what most people miss. They try to think their way into new action, but the real change is acting your way into new action. You feel confident because you took action while scared. You feel clear because you wrote things down even when they were messy. You feel capable because you kept showing up, even imperfectly. Now let me leave you with the question I mentioned at the start, the one I give coaching clients when they're stuck. Who would I be without this thought? Right, try that. Next time you catch yourself thinking, I can't do this, or I'm too late, or this is just who I am, pause and ask, who would I be without this thought? What would I feel? What would I choose? That one question can just cut through weeks of overthinking, because often the problem isn't you, it's the thought that's living in us. Remember, your personal reality will never rise above your personality unless you're willing to upgrade it. And upgrading doesn't mean fixing yourself. It means that you're just becoming more of who you really are beneath all those loops. If this hit home for you, hit subscribe. I've got a lot more coming on identity shifts, clarity, and purpose. And if you want help on applying this to your life, there's a link below for a free starter call. We'll look at your current patterns and map out who you actually want to become. Your future self isn't waiting. They're already inside you. So let's get to work. Now, if you enjoyed watching this video, check out this video on progress over perfection and why that matters. Hit subscribe, and I'll see you next time.